Governor Andrew Cuomo announcing that 14 days from now, his resignation will be official. Governor Cuomo there ending his message with a thank you note to the state of New York for the way they've handled the COVID pandemic. Obviously, a bit of controversy there for the governor considering the nursing home scandal. But before that, a very personal message from Cuomo to his daughters, telling them that he never did or never wanted to do anything that he has been accused of doing, and he had never done anything that he considers inappropriate to happen to his own daughters. We also heard from the governor, again, sort of a repeat of what he said last week, saying he went too far, obviously crossed some lines, but did not realize that the line on this stuff had been redrawn. Also bemoaned the fact that this had gotten way too political, talked about the prospect of months of this taking center stage when there are a lot of important things for New York to focus on, including COVID and gun violence, his words there. Again, Governor Cuomo on that note announcing that he will resign effective in 14 days. The New York Lieutenant Governor Kathy Hochul will take over when that happens. Let's welcome in now Eric Bolling, host of The Balance here on Newsmax TV, for some reaction to this. Eric, great to see you again. There was some talk that Andrew Cuomo wasn't going anywhere, and we were listening to his attorney, Rita Glavin, beforehand, using that platform to defend basically Governor Cuomo there. I think this is why, I was thinking this is why you don't resign. So you have that opportunity to use that platform, but then he did ultimately resign. I wanted to get your reaction to that, Eric.
So, first of all, I'm trying to figure out what's going to take him 14 days to vacate the office. What is he going to do? Just continue to take a victory lap? Or this man is a narcissist. I think he resigned, John, because remember, he was Attorney General before he was governor. He realizes that some of the accusations, especially the one from Ms. Commisso yesterday, could be as high as felonies in New York State. So, do you want to go through a criminal investigation of yourself and stay in the governor's office? He was going to be evicted. He was going to be impeached. That was going to happen. So I think this resignation it had to happen. The timing of it is very interesting as these accusers come. Remember, Ms. Commisso came out yesterday morning. I believe she was talking to CBS. Last night there were two new accusers. I believe one was 17, may have presented themselves. So it was going to continue to snowball and grow. Even the New York Times said amid scandal. So the man politically he was toast. The question was, criminally is he toast? And civilly is he toast. So now he's got two other avenues, and just the sexual harassment case where he could be brought. I think there's a prosecutor in Albany who said that he's going to open an investigation. Sheriff in Albany saying he's going to open a criminal investigation to the man. And then we know each one of these accusers can go after him civilly for money. Those are harder. Those are probably going to happen. The hard one though is to nail him criminally, which by all accounts looks like he did violate some criminal statutes in New York, and he would know. He was the former prosecutor, former attorney general.
Yeah, when I heard his message to his daughters, and he talked about, what they're seeing on TV, I wondered if that was the straw that broke the camel's back here, because, again, just yesterday it seemed, at least according to some, that there was no way that Governor Cuomo was going to resign, but he does, at least if you believe him, appears to be deeply impacted by this, at least these most recent allegations here. Also, Eric, I wanted to ask you real quickly before we let you go here. His attorney gave, I think, what was a pretty effective presentation beforehand. But this is, you can see their tactic here. They're going to go after these accusers, name them, show pictures of them, and blame them. I wonder if that's going to work.
Yeah. No. And by the way, I don't believe him, number one. I don't think it had anything to do with his daughter sitting on the couch with his daughters watching the news. I think he realized he was toast. Politically, he was finished. I think that's what this was all about. I don't think, this is what defense attorneys do. They start to point the finger at the victims. And it's victim shaming, it's victim blaming, and they're going to do it because they're high-priced attorneys and he's got all the money in the world to spend on his defense. But I do think this man, he's resigned, he doesn't have to be impeached anymore. I do think he's going to face some both criminal and civil charges, and we'll see how it goes. But to start to play narcissist and I'm the victim here on television for 25 minutes, give me a break. Resign, move on, and let the lieutenant governor take over. Let's go.
Yeah, it was a long speech. His attorney spoke for a long time, too. Kind of jarring to see the COVID recovery logo on the screen while you have Governor Cuomo's lawyer defending him from these sexual harassment allegations. Just, it's 2021. Here we are, Eric, and this is the reality.
John, don't forget,
Yeah.
Don't forget, we got the nursing home scandal
Right.
that's looming as well. That could be simultaneous. The guy is just, he's toast. Maybe he'll become a CNN anchor next to his brother, who's, by the way, got a lot of splaining to do, as they say.
Yeah, well, according to the Washington Post, Chris Cuomo has still been advising his brother despite telling everybody that he wasn't going to do that. So we're going to talk about that as well coming up. Some many layers to this story. Eric, we'll see you at 4 o'clock today. I know you'll be covering this. What else you guys got coming up on the program today?
Marco Rubio and possibly Rand Paul. We're going to talk infrastructure. And then Rashida Tlaib dancing cheek to cheek with her friends, but calling Rand Paul out for his mask adversity, yet she didn't have a mask when she was doing it herself. So we'll cover it all at 4.
Rashida Tlaib, Barack Obama, the dance parties continue maskless in America for Democrats. Anyway, Eric, we'll see you at 4 o'clock. Thanks so much.